Gamers are getting older, and as time passes, we ironically get less time for games. So here's 7 tips to increase your productivity while gaming, no matter what game you may be into. First off, have a goal in mind for your next gaming session. A common mistake that people with limited time make is that they don't really create any goals for themselves and spend most of their precious time doing random mundane things. If you're playing a sandbox game like Minecraft or Starbound, try making some goals for yourself throughout the day, like what would you want to build, what equipment you need, and jot down onto a notepad for when you start to play. An example of this for competitive gamers would be to pinpoint your weaknesses and create a plan around strengthening them. For shooters, you might want to focus on aiming, not just with your favorite guns, but with weapons you might get stuck with in certain circumstances. And for MOBAs, you could spend a few matches focusing on CSing or landing as many skill shots as you can before it becomes second nature. The next tip I have for you is to optimize your tools. In any aspect of life, efficiency is king, so don't neglect the tools that you use every day. A prime example of this is in Stardew Valley, where 80% of your day can oftentimes be spent mining away at rocks or clearing trees to collect wood. If you're going to be doing this every day, then it's a worthwhile investment to upgrade your tools as soon as possible to improve efficiency in the long run. But for games where you start without anything every round and are practically a clean slate upon starting, then you yourself are the tools. Your ability to execute the basics and make decisions on the fly are integral tools that improve with you without a number on the screen telling you you're doing better or worse. Next is to do extensive research in your field. No matter what game you're playing, whether it's an extremely old or unheard of game, there's going to be some people that have played the game or something like it before you have and know a thing or two to pass on. It's a great use of your time to be looking up tips and tricks online, seeking what other players have discovered so you don't have to reinvent the wheel when, I don't know, XXX_gamerghost already did in 2014. A really big tip coming up is to focus on one task at a time. This, much like my second point, is a productivity tip not exclusive to gaming, but still greatly important. When you split your tasks up, try to tackle them all at once, or else nothing gets done, or at least not as well as it could have been. Anyone that's played an RPG or a sandbox game knows that there's so much to do in them, so it's easy to get sidetracked from your main goals. Instead of worrying about missing out on fishing during the right time of day, stick to your intended to-do list for that day and reschedule those side activities to a time when you're finished with your priorities and have time to spare. My fifth tip is to eliminate all distractions and reserve at least 1 to 2 hours of time per day. While on the topic of general productivity tips, your time is going to be spent the most effectively on a game you're playing with 100% of your attention. This is basically my last tip, but in a real life setting. If you're constantly getting distracted by your phone or other distractions in life, then you're not going to be in your most productive form, known as flow state. Flow state, also known as the zone, is a mental state in which a person performing some activity is fully immersed in a feeling of energized focus, full involvement, and enjoyment in the process of the activity. In simpler words, flow is characterized by the complete absorption in what one does, and a resulting transformation in one's sense of time. Flow is the melting together of an action and consciousness, the state of finding a balance between a skill and how challenging that task is. It requires a high level of concentration, so the longer you spend in flow state, the more you can get done. But of course, like anything in life, too much of anything is bad for you. So see how long you can maintain this absolute focus, so try to create a schedule or a plan that makes the most out of your energy before burning out. Next on the list is biting off more than you can chew. Ambition and motivation are the main sources of what causes people to get started on projects. However, a lot of it ends up being unrealistic goals that would take months to get done. We all want to become the world's best player or become an absolute god in any JRPG. But with the amount of time required and the amount of discipline needed, many people can't hack it to the end. To avoid quitting near the start or halfway, try making the major idea the final goal, and have smaller goals leading up to that point. So each stepping stone is a small victory to eventually lead you to the final goal in mind. Last but not least, it is what it is. The biggest tip I have for you is to not worry about what you missed out on, and what I mean by that is, as we play games, we consistently make decisions that slowly burn ourselves out. So overthinking every choice we have is a huge waste of energy and starts to ruin our gaming experience to the point where they start to begin feeling like jobs. If you lost 1v1 with a friend, or you could have made more money if you bet on something else, it's not the end of the world. Take these losses and remember them for the future. That way, these losses weren't for nothing, and we don't sit around feeling unmotivated and overthinking things. A journey can't be full of only victories. We need the losses to learn, and sitting around on one loss hinders the overall expedition. So pick yourself up, say it is what it is, and carry on. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. It was a blast to make, and I understand that gamers these days are getting older with much less time on their hands to spend on games. So, if you're one of those people, consider subscribing. I too spend countless hours gaming, but I don't have as much time to get good at the genre as I once dominated. Share this video with a friend who's suffering from the same situation, and let me know in the comments what other tips you have for gamers in the same or similar genres of games. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Why you guys let me delete?
There's another one?
Yes! Yes!
Burn, bro. These fucking babies, bro. What are they doing?